What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages? Welcome back to the AOA Reacts channel. I'm your host, as always, Ian, and today we are watching Attack on Titan Season 1, Episode 11, Icon, The Battle for Trost, Part 7. Eren just agreed to plug up the hole in One Maria to Pixis, who put him up to the task. Armin really flexed his political skills and his oration skills. He is a very gifted speaker, so that was really cool to see. And now we need a little bit more than talk, though. We need some action. So we're going to see how this plan is coming into fruition here. It's really cool in these prior episodes, even seeing the middle cards or whatever you want to call them during the little breaks in the episode when they give you a little bit of info on just the Attack on Titan world, how they explain how they're setting up these like yeast factories all along the wall so they can supply the troops, and how they keep the food from spoiling and stuff like that. It's really cool to see all that, and definitely something that I looked over in the early stages of watching the show when I first watched it. Definitely something I glossed over, so it's cool to see all of that put together. So we're going to see some pretty crazy stuff going forward, and I'm super excited for it. Hopefully you guys are too. But if you enjoy the content today, make sure you guys are liking this video, sharing with your friends, subscribing to the channel, commenting your thoughts down below. All of those things, by the way, that I just mentioned, and it's 4 of them, are all free. Not a single penny for your time. It takes like 2 seconds too, right? So definitely do that. Goes a long way in supporting the show. Also, hit me up in the description down below. We have a link there. It says Linktree. That'll take you to all the other ways that you can support us beyond just this YouTube channel here. Our Discord, totally free to join. Our merch, our social media. You can throw follows on everything. Our Twitch channel as well, which is where I stream these. You might notice while watching these that I might be talking to chat at some times, or you might see the chat up. That's because I'm streaming these live on Twitch. So if you want to catch them on Twitch, go on and follow. Like I said, Linktree, just click it, it's there. And Patreon is probably the best way that you could support us directly in helping us make the best content possible for you guys and to do it more often. So that's a win for everybody involved. You get exclusive benefits and all that kind of good stuff. So definitely go and check that out. But without further ado, let's get into Attack on Titan Season 1, Episode 11. Yo. Oh man, that scene was critical. Titans are not our only enemy, and Pixis knows it. Pixis is such an intelligent man, and it's really cool to see him put these plans into practice, and even though they're based off of so many assumptions and all that kind of stuff. But is that not how all the Attack on Titan commanders lead in some way, shape, or form, right? They're always going with some sort of calculated risk, because they really can't afford not to. They can't really play it totally conservative and safe, because they're just in a situation right now that the more they go with the safe route, the more they dig themselves into a hole. So it might save them for the day, but it's not going to save them in the long run, and they know it. So they kind of have to go crazy with some of these plans. You know, easier said than done when we see them put into action, because some pretty terrible things happen for sure. So it's not easy being a commander, and certainly not in this world, right? There's a lot of blood on your hands. So all right, I'm gonna just say it. This guy was just never cut out for this to begin with. I don't even know how he graduated, dude. From like the first time we met this guy, he just looked not right. He did not look like he belonged there, and he has not shown me any different. And it's a terrible situation, and some of these people are thrust into this situation, but if I'm not mistaken, like, he did apply for this, right? So I get it. Once you see, I'm just joking around. All jokes aside, you know, once you see it close up, but the joke is that he just never really seemed all that gung-ho to begin with, so it's just kind of ironic. It's just kind of funny. It's so bad too, like they gotta just nix Daz, because like, not kill him, but just get him out of this whole military operation. And it's a weird thing, right? Because it's like everybody's got to pull their weight type thing. So it's like, if you're just excusing every which person that bitches or complains, and granted they're valid complaints, but anyone who is opposed to this, if you're just like, sure, everybody leave, that's not good, because then you're probably going to have very few people left. But at the same time, what he's doing is just to the point now where he doesn't even care anymore about death. That's how you know he is totally dead serious about it, right? If pushed, most people, I would assume, would not take the blade to their neck willingly. They would at least try and fight and then get eaten by the Titans. The ones that would, that's a different story. And the issue is that his attitude is infectious because now he's just lost his composure. It's spreading like a virus throughout all of the people, all of the humans within the walls, or all the people that are in earshot of him, because now they start doubting and second guessing themselves and getting more riled up and scared than they need to be. And that is not good. Not good at all.
巨人に地上を支配される前、人類は種族や断りの違う者同士で果てのない殺し合いを続けていたと言われておる。
He's like, it's just like so crazy to hear those lines. He's like, you know, it was said before Titans just wiped everyone out that they used to have wars over race and ideology. That's really weird, right? And we're like, yeah, I know, crazy, right? But it just again goes to show you that it's most of that shit gets put aside in the event that some larger looming threat is coming upon us just as human beings in general, right? So it's just ironic and funny to hear him talk about that as it's like this old, almost like antiquated thing of the past. He's like, believe it or not, yeah, they used to kill each other over that. I know, crazy, right? But we do see so many times in this show, we've already seen when they have the food shortages and the soldiers are reluctant to give people in the outer walls some. We see the OVAs later where we know that there's this like whole society underground, and people have their gripes with them. You know, you're above ground, you're more important than below, etc. So even within these walls and with the small amount of people that they have, they still kind of fight their own small wars over that, you know, race, ideology, all those sorts of things. It's just not as large scale, I guess you could say. But yeah, humans, man, we're an interesting sort. I believe that was JFK.
争いをやめるだろうと。お主はどう思うかの？
それは随分とのんきですね。その強大な敵にここまで追い詰められた今でも一つになったとは言い難い状況だと思いますので。
Yeah, I do have to agree with him. I mean, this show has proved that, like I just went over in 10 episodes, right? And in the future, without getting into too much stuff later, this is this conversation and this, you know, this idea of will humanity really unite with each other in the face of some large looming threat? How long will they unite? Right, once that threat is destroyed, they just go back to it. Like this whole argument and clashing of philosophies on this, and if there really can be peace among humanity, really plays a big role in this show going forward. And I'm very excited to talk about these things when we get into the latter seasons of the show. That was just a gem of a shot right there. That was just a gem of a shot. How did I forget about that? No microphone needed. Connie, I feel you, bro. Sometimes I just like don't even know what's going on, you know what I mean? But I do love that Connie's always the first one to admit it. Woo! Yeah, you told him. He appealed to something greater than themselves. It also just goes to show too how much Pixis really knows his soldiers, right? He knows them on a personal level, which also again speaks to how good of a leader he is. Damn. Damn, dude, these lines just hit so hard. Oh man, they're not pawns without a choice. And by the way, I would hate to have that job leaning off the side of the wall. But then again, actually, I think the ones protecting Eren actually have the harder job when all things are considered. You don't actually have to fight the Titans when you're doing that. So maybe you would rather have that job.
あんたには彼らの死を犬死ににさせてはいけない責任がある。
進撃になる。
Yo, oh my god, that was so sick. Yo.
Eren?
Oh man, dude, that scene was scary, and it, again, me prodding and poking and all that kind of stuff, but I don't know if I'm looking a little too hard into it, but I wonder if that's going to be relevant later. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. I don't know. Everything's coming and bubbling up to the surface now. But yeah, that was a really good episode. Really got to see Pixis on display and his leadership style. He really, again, knows how to motivate people because he appealed to something that was bigger than themselves, that was more important than themselves. And that is their loved ones, at least for the people that were planning on deserting. He convinced them to come back, which was no small feat. That was a really big deal. The guy knows what he's doing. I also like how he put Ian in charge, based off of the kind of drinking man that he was, right? Like, the point is that he knows his men, he knows the women, he knows his soldiers very well. He knows them on a personal level, which it's said of most great commanders that they do, right? People in charge should know the people that they're ruling over. And I really love this emphasis on each of the people and their individuality and how all of them and their lives have merit. They're not just mindless pawns in this game. We're down to the point where humanity is down to a very small portion of what it once was. And especially when talking about the soldiers that are risking their lives for this, it's known that a lot of them will die, but to not forget them, to not disrespect them by not giving it your absolute all is a huge theme that we see in the show going forward. And that's what makes it so inspiring at the end of the day, right? Is that there is meaning to what it is that they're doing. We get this reiterated like a broken record, but it rings so true and it's so important. None of these people's lives are meaningless, and in life or in death, right? They are individuals with their own loves, their own hates, their own, struggles, and their own stories. And it's really cool to see that the commanders, the people in charge, are, at least most of them, are aware of that and take that into battle with them and use that to spur them on and to be the best version of themselves and to genuinely try and save humanity here. And it's cool to see Eren in that headspace as well. So all the more crazy that he just turned around immediately and just clocked Mikasa, or at least tried to. That was pretty nuts. So I don't know, what's going to happen with that, but yeah, it was really cool. And we see a lot of very cool and important lessons, that were put forward in this episode. And that's what I love about Attack on Titan. I just love it. Accompanied with the soundtrack too, whenever they're having like a really good speech or dialogue amongst each other, and then the soundtrack behind it always hits on a different level. It just gets me almost like teary-eyed. It's fantastic. Damn. First of all, we're coming out the gate. Like, the OP just ended, and Pixis is already just throwing some like crazy stuff on the table here. We could dissect the hell out of this. But point is, man, he is willing to be called a murderer, every sort of harsh thing in the book, in order to win this, because it's humanity or bust, right? It's humanity or Titans. So, that's a big responsibility to bear, but that is why this is the guy in charge. Because, like, let's be real, Mikasa would have won that fight. Like, right now, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't really count her out for a second. Eren has no stake in that fight. Not a chance. At least not right now. That might be a different story later if you want to, judge Eren off his merits later on. But as of right now, no, Mikasa's got that shit handled. Done and dusted. All right, pull it together, my man. Like, geez, everybody's going through the same thing right now. But you know, they always get one of these people per episode, per show, and you know, I get it. It's pretty extraneous circumstances, but damn, try and pull it together at least. You know what I mean? We're all going through this together.
後方の12メートル級をやれ。三度半と俺の班で前の2体をやる。
なんだって
Damn, Ian stepping up to the plate with leadership here, man. He just like went from side character to like not a side character. like that was some cool stuff.
恋人を守るためだからな。
家族です
Yeah, all right, family, all right. Interesting that Eren's eyes are open during this, but his pupils seem to expand, dilate. And the question is, was that intentional that he swung at her? I don't think so. But it just seemed odd. It seemed like instinct, maybe. I can't remember if they explain it later, but it is interesting to see. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is there. She just makes it look easy. He felt that. He felt that.
何言ってんだハルミ。母さんならここにいるぞ。
This Titan is the definition of assed out right now. He's like, just passing by, see anything you like, speak up. Oh god, man. Smooth move, Sean. Oh my god, some of these Titans. Like, how unsettling is that? It's like funny but terrifying.
そんなの決まってんだろ。俺がこの世に生まれたからだ。
Yo, let's go! Let's go! Because I was born into this world. Oh my. Oh, that was so good. Why did I want to go? Because I was born into this world. He's like, it is my right as a human being to be able to explore the outer reaches of what the world has to offer, to be free, to be able to see the oceans, the deserts, the snow, all that kind of thing. It was awesome to see, and obviously that is going to come up again later on. That's a very referred to phrase, right? Because I was born into this world without saying too much. Because I've decided at this point that, like, I refer to spoilers and I say we know going forward, but I figure, like, if you've seen it, like, you know what I'm talking about when I'm, like, vague with that. And just in case you haven't seen it, I'm trying not to explicitly say it, because if you saw it again, you probably already know. So just to have, for those people that want to see this as a first-time watch through, that they don't get it completely spoiled, although it'll be hinting, but that's not the same as just straight up spoiling it. So anyway, y'all know what I'm talking about. But yeah, that was pretty crazy, and it's cool to go into the psyche of Eren again while he's in that Titan. This is an interesting thing that's explored in this episode where he's like almost in this dream state. It seems that the further we go with this, the less dream state it is, right? It seems like you're pretty present in the moment. Again, this is like his third time technically transforming. The second time was kind of like a half transformation anyway, so it makes sense. But yeah, we really see some of the leadership, Ian really stepping up to the plate there in this episode, and helping out Mikasa with that, and Eren not leaving him behind was really sweet to see, and Jean trying to get crafty with everything going on here. But yeah, it was some pretty wild stuff. There's really not too much more to say, I think, about this episode. I don't think there's any standout thing that I had missed. Again, we're in Eren's like dream state. Armin is trying to get him out. Mikasa is doing her best to help, and then the other members of the crew are, you know, distracting Titans around the city. It's in the midst of a battle, so sometimes you don't get all of the really hard-hitting questions and moral beats and stuff like that. But we know, for those who've watched it, the outcome of all this sort of thing, and how some of these things wind up being relevant later. So it's still pretty sweet to see it again. Yeah, Jean's in a bit of a pickle here. That's so many Titans. Marco, bro, is so MVP. You got me, bro. Who are we sleeping on right now? Who are we sleeping on? Because I know it ain't Eren. I know it ain't Eren. Never sleep on Eren. Oh, dude, this shot. That was all Armin right there, by the way. Wow, the courage these folks are showing right now.
Bruh.
He's like, excuse me? What'd you just say? Dude. Yeah, because it is. It's literally being crushed. Pay attention. This is relevant too going forward, because I actually just read a comment on somebody's YouTube video recently. Spoiler warning for the end of season 3. 3, 2, 1. When they get to the ocean, right? And Eren seems just uninterested with that. He's like, okay, we have to go across the ocean now because that's what we have to take down next. That's where our freedom lies. You know, they had asked what the deal with that was, and basically what was said is that Eren has always looked at the goal of getting to the sea and all, and you know, the snow and the desert and all that kind of stuff, and seeing the world. He's always viewed that goal differently than Armin, where Armin just wanted to validate their existence, to make sure they were to see the beauty in them, to make sure they were real, to explore, right? Where Eren always had the idea that of course these things exist, but the idea of me getting there means that I'm free enough to get there, right? And I think that's the main difference between the two. So that's why Eren's mindset is a little bit different. And again, I could be wrong on that, but it definitely seems to ring true in this scene here, where he says, we're all born free. It's the people that would try and take that freedom away from us, that they're the bad people. Like, it is part of our right to be able to try and go and explore that, to be able to do that. So I do find that interesting. Oh God. Dude, okay, first of all, huge props to Ian for just, in his final stroke, by the way, ripping someone out of the mouth like Eren did a couple episodes before, and then just getting decapitated like that was just brutal to watch. That was so fire. That was so fire. Yes! Let's go! Oh. Shit. Did we really expect anything different? That guy was like, ah! Wow. Pour one out for Marco. True homie. And it's amazing how much more attached I felt to this character after a second watch. like I said, I haven't watched it for years and years, and the first time I was like, oh, that sucks. I probably didn't even realize who it was, but this time around, that stings. That one stings.
誰かこいつの最後見たやつは。
わかるか、訓練兵。二次災害は阻止しなくてはならない。わかったか?
It would be easier to not, you know, get all emotional and to not be scared of you if you'd blink. That would be a start. Blink.
奴らには消化器官がねえから、人食って腹いっぱいになったらああやって吐いちまうんだと。
Bro, I totally forgot about that. That's disgusting.
ごめんなさい。
謝っても仕方ないぞ。
You're sorry. Oh, I can't. I gotta pause it there. Just knowing what I know. Oh, that scene hit. Man, you can tell they're like genuinely torn up too, which makes sense knowing what, you know, happens later. It's a cruel world.
調査兵団実行部隊のトップエルヴィン団長と
Damn right!
リヴァイ兵長
Damn right!
君のせいか。シガンシナ区にあるイエーガー医師の地下室。
お前は記憶喪失で、親父は行方知れずか。随分都合のいい話だな。
Like, yo, Levi always with the zingers, bro. He's like, so your pops is missing, you got amnesia. Ain't that convenient?
調査兵団に入ってとにかく巨人をぶっ殺したいです。
I find it interesting that there's like a literal distortion in his voice right now there. I don't know what the intention behind that was, but that's when like Eren gets in his like, oh, I'm gonna kill them all mode. So interesting.
こいつの責任は俺が持つ。上にはそう言っておけ。こいつが裏切ったり暴れたりすれば、お前の調査兵団入団を。
Oh man, things are heating up now. Things are heating up now. Levi with that entrance before and with those zingers, he just does not trust Eren. He could be downright rude sometimes, but it's like, what are you gonna do? It's Levi. He's just gonna like beat your ass if he wants to. But yeah, again, that interesting voice distortion at the end there. Don't know if I'm looking too far into that, but I do find it interesting that every time Eren has these flashbacks and it triggers this primal response. Again, I think even the name of this episode is like primal urges or something like that. He gets into this like, I'm gonna kill them all mode. So it's definitely interesting to see there. We got Erwin, and he is like, okay, like, what's this key all about? What's the deal? We're getting more, you know, info on these Titans as we go, but there's still such a mystery. So we just have to keep on pushing forward to see what these mysteries hold. It's some really crazy stuff to see. What else happened in this episode that was really substantial here? I mean, nothing. I don't think anything too crazy besides the Marco thing, right? It's very interesting, as Jean had pointed out. Why did he die, right? Like, how did that happen? Because where he was in proximity to where all the Titans were at that point in time, the odds of him dying were slim to none, right? So John is not stupid, and he understands that there's an abnormality there. What's up with that? Also, Annie seems to be very torn up about it, and Reiner says, listen, there's nothing we can do. So, you know, that was a big key moment for sure in this episode. Definitely don't want to overlook that. But anyway, that's all we have for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel if you did. But until next time, I will catch you all on the flip. Peace.